Purgon, the legend of the god of Judo.
The CGI looks like Berserk 2016. Garbage. This is 2021 and you have CGI that looks like a PS1 game? What the fuck? Imagine. Don't you realize he already left you in the dust and you're still waiting?
Yes, I'm the villain.
Wow. This is pathetic. These adults can't be fully functional humans.
The almighty defeater äcklig, Miri. The god of Judo professor.
He's blank.
Heavily Controller has to be one of the worst people to ever be conceived into this world. One of the fakest anime YouTubers I've ever fucking seen. You know, he be acting tough on the internet, but in real life he's nothing but a wuss. And that hair looks like the shit I take in the morning.
Afro Senju, Swag Kage, all of those frauds. You're up next. We need more games like this. Unique experiences. It takes elements from survival horror and JRPGs and still ends up with a unique identity. And it deserves a remake. A faithful remake that does not change anything. Except the post-boss chases. Those were garbage. But remake this game like the Resident Evil 1 remake, the one from 2002. And you get a classic, a timeless classic 10 out of 10. This is what we need. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, the plot about the third energy is honestly way better than the T, the G, the WBD virus or whatever the fuck. A pretty generic survival horror. Dino Crisis 2 instead went and removed the things that made it generic. Instead of a giant mansion, you now have this big ass jungle. You have a sick ass combo system that builds up points so you can buy these weapons. This is some Ratchet & Clank shit. And yes, it became more of a linear game, but it also became a more interesting and unique take on the survival horror genre. And that's the thing. When you have too many of the same genre, then retroactively, the games that took a different spin on the genre will be more appealing. Because now we already have a king of the classic mansion-like gameplay style. If you understand what I mean.
It's crazy that the Sands of Time gets all the hype when Warrior Within is superior in every single way. Story, atmosphere, combat, movement. Everything it sets out to do, it does beautifully. I mean, this trilogy kind of follows the same template as the Jak and Daxter trilogy. It's actually crazy because this is probably the best game Ubisoft will ever make. Looking at them now, I mean, just compare the physics and movement of this game and something like Assassin's Creed, which just proves my point that realism limits creativity. It's way cooler when you take what's realistic and puts it to the max, which is what Warrior Within does.
Danganronpa has always been a pretty basic visual novel, along with Zero Escape and Ace Attorney.
This was an era of evolution. This was an era of growth. Before, everything was an open world and first-person shooter. No microtransactions, no DLC. Just pure game.
And can't stand N64 graphics. You always have the 3DS version, which fixes the aiming, the iron boots in the water temple, and makes the graphics more presentable, with higher frame rate. Even though 6 and 9 are the highlights, the one everyone should have already played is Final Fantasy VII and Chrono Trigger. Metal Gear Solid. The first 3 are the good ones, specifically the ones made by Team Silent. But only 1 and 2 are essential, and the 2 entries that represents each side the best are the 2002 GameCube remake and Resident Evil 4, and is still one of the more unique third-person shooters. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The best version of this game is the Bluepoint remake on PS4, Sonic 3 and Knuckles for 2D, and Adventure 2 for 3D. Both Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World are good choices. But 64 takes the crown. Only in its original state though. Not this version, it's garbage.
Make a sequel to Sly 3. A good one. Not like that shit, Thieves in Time. Or that fan-made piece of shit, Deceit of Thieves. I've got a guest that will expose this shit.
When you play the 3 first games, it does not continue from them. It actually just is a big fat trash story. What is it with him beating his ancestors with the Gugu Gaga? I have not seen you. Does not make sense.
They're not gonna give us any fucking Sly Cooper. Enough with this fucking horse shit. fuck the rap MC that everybody wants to try and be.
I recently made an absolutely groundbreaking, fantastic video explaining that Sly is dead. The only way to bring him back is to let a talented studio like Bluepoint make a 1-to-1 remake of the trilogy, and then make a sequel to Sly 3 afterwards. That's the only respectable way to bring him back. Sonic tubers has to be some of the worst YouTubers on the fucking earth. These aren't just some of the worst YouTubers. These are some of the worst human beings in the fucking universe. So why do Sonic YouTubers suck? Okay, number one, they like garbage games. That is unacceptable.
They are fake boys, you know, because they don't even know the lyrics. You know what lyrics? Sonic Adventure 2.
Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, Advanced Trilogy. You're just a peasant.
I love Sonic 06.
Sonic 06 is my second favorite Sonic game and third favorite game of all time.
I think it's time for someone with actual talent, like Purgon, to deliver the final verdict. People often say that Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog have slippery controls, but the positives of having the controls be like that is that it increases the skill ceiling and leaves room for experimentation once mastered. With 06, it doesn't matter how good you get, because Sonic is stiff and restricted, like a moving rock. How can you like this? Are you a fucking idiot? This has nothing on the Adventure era. But this one takes it to the next level of garbage. You're just running around like a casual. In my action games, I like to be the one who controls the pacing. If I have to stand still, then I would rather jump from a bridge. Not only do you have to wait in the bus, you have to wait for the load times. You have to wait in the levels. I give 06, in its original state, 5 out of 10. Just mid. Sega should honestly pay this guy $1 million to put this on every system.
Come on, let the beat, he's a rocket and he's ready to go. Cause now the countdown has started and he's ready to blow. He's got the dope sounds bumping and stereo. Yo, he's fast and on the show. Don't wanna get yourself together, there's no time to rest. And if you put the time in, he'll put you to the test. He's like a running man and his road war is less. And if you wanna test him best, bring your best. Don't make you spell it out, bring your best.
Sonic has been dead since 2008. That's just an objective fact. The last fully realized game was Sonic Unleashed. And hell, 06 was the last ambitious game, but really, the last 14 years of Sonic has just been unoriginality and nostalgia pandering. In the 2000s, you had a great variety, both handheld and console. The Adventure era had variety. Have you forgotten the Sonic cycle?
Why would you buy this piece of shit collection? You're paying $45 for some old-ass games? Look at this.
Over 40 games. Retail price, $30.
Where is Knuckles Chaotix? The Master System games? The Game Gear games? The Advanced Trilogy? The Rush Trilogy? See, this is what I would expect a collection like this to have. But Sega is greedy, as usual. It's time for Sega to grow some balls. They need to put me in charge of this shit, so we can make the successor to the Saturn and Dreamcast. It's time. They have so many franchises that could be rebooted in a spectacular way to crush the monopoly.
And embattled Sega's new Dreamcast video game console is graphically better. The first home unit able to handle 128 computer bits of data at once. Twice as much as the Sony PlayStation and Nintendo 64 machines that dominate the $12 billion a year US video game market.
PlayStation doesn't know how to make games anymore. These are just cinematic walking simulators. I even have to call my friend. This was so bad I had to call my fucking friend. I even recorded the call. Listen to this.
What the fuck was that? Like, what the fuck? That shit was so whack. I had to
Where are the games? These are just the same exact game. Where are the platformers? The survival horrors? Where is Sly Cooper? Metal Gear? Silent Hill? Jak and Daxter? You're trash. You're trying so hard to be Hollywood. You forgot where you came from. PlayStation really lost their edge. They used to have a good variety with their first two consoles, but ever since the PS3, they've been trying so hard to be cinematic, which make you question if you're even playing a game anymore. And these horrible critics, they're just adding more fuel to the fire, to this dumpster fire. A recent example of this would be God of War PS4, which is what I would define as an objectively bad game. It has everything. A bad story that rips off The Last of Us, walking segments,
and every other slow segment you can come up with. Brainless button mashing, which even on the highest difficulty takes no skills. Even reused bosses. Yet, it's hailed as one of the best of all time. They used to have everything. Platformers, JRPGs, survival horror. But now, most of their games can be categorized as a cinematic, over-the-shoulder action game. Where is the variety? God of War on PC has me disappointed. This was a chance to change the game-breaking issues of the original. Issues that I have exposed before. A downgrade of the original 2005 game of the same name. And I'm not calling that a masterpiece either, but at least it's better than this, and you can stay mad about it. Peasant! It had a more personal story, and a better implementation of the mythology.
Ares! Destroy my enemies!
But at the end of the day, all three of the originals are way better than this new one, and that's objectively. My final score for the new one, for all versions of this game, is a 3 out of 10. The PS5 continues to disappoint. Garbage release after garbage release. Where is the quality? It's been almost 2 years, and this is the best you have to offer? By this time in the PS2's life cycle, 20 years ago, we already had MGS2 and Silent Hill 2. But at least I'm playing an actual electronic video game, not doing something I could just do in real life. None of these new exclusives has any lasting impact. This movie game hybrid really took off with Uncharted and The Last of Us, and should have honestly ended there. The reason why the PS1 and 2 era were goated was because both the Japanese and Western side released back-to-back hits along each other. But after the PS2, the Western side started to fumble that football. The declining quality couldn't be more obvious. Take the PS1 for example, a console that Purgon didn't even grow up with. It had the quantity. You want JRPGs? We got you covered. You want survival horror? You want platformers, both 2D and 3D? You want fighting games? Racing, action, and more? Yeah. When you could get a sequel only a year after the previous one, that improves upon every aspect. Now you're waiting 4 to 5 years for glorified DLC. If you played Red Dead Redemption 2 and God of War, you know that reviews do not represent quality. Those games were garbage. You have to understand that reviewers get these games for free, so obviously would they be nicer. They've never experienced a good story. They don't know what good gameplay is. Why the fuck would I take their word now? At the end of the day, it is just a materialistic object that was made for you to consume, for them to make money. Metacritic fucking sucks.
I mean, a 7 or an 8 probably is the average aggregate score, because majority of the games that are being reviewed simply are good.
Why even have a 1 to 10 scale if you're only going to use 4 of the ratings? Who is qualified to make a review? I mean, these reviewers are getting these copies for free. Like, how am I supposed to take that seriously?
What is this?
The fuck, bro? Was it real, bro?
Huh? Who was it? Tatsuya Nomura? Is it you? Was it your idea? But whoever came up with this idea needs to be fired immediately.
Bro, what the fuck did I just watch?
Ew! This is disgusting. Who designed this shit? This proves once again that Dragon Ball is dead. Forever. And the downfall really started in the Buu Saga. But fortunately, it ended before it could get really bad. Oh my god. Dragon Ball's dead. Is dead? I'm so fucking pissed. Toriyama has no idea what he's doing. He's fucking stupid.
Gohan. Shut the fuck up.
Damn! You're dead.
All of these fucking forms. And we're gonna do it from the worst to the best. Starting with Blue Evolution. It's just a Super Vegeta reskin, completely unoriginal and pulled out the ass. Super Saiyan Rage, a skinny copy of Broly, with no explanation. All versions of Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan Rosé. They are just color swaps. Next we have the awful Ultra Ego form. If you wanna know why this form sucks, I already exposed it in my last video, so... Super Saiyan 3. The only thing this form has is originality. Other than that, it sucks. Ultra Instinct Mastered. It ruined the original Ultra Instinct
by just being a recoloring of Super Saiyan God. It should have stayed a technique, but they thought, oh, let's make it exclusive to Broly, yeah! Which is fucking dumb. Yes, the Great Ape. They are good because they are connected to the actual plot and the Saiyan's ancestry, unlike most of these fast food forms. Another decent form is Super Saiyan 1 and 2, the first fluffy hair one, before his hair looked like bananas, the one that actually moves in the air. And it was foretold in the entire Frieza saga, so it was a major plot point to the story. It wasn't just pulled out of thin air. The only flaws are that there aren't enough drawbacks, is the Kaioken. It's how forms should work. You should not be able to master it. And the Kaioken isn't even overpowered. It has a risk and reward system, which make it superior to these other forms. Super Saiyan 4. Taking the Saiyan forms back to their origins with the Great Ape.
You know, Toriyama gave the original manga that garbage ending, but at least Toei could fix it with GT and give a more conclusive ending. But then they had to bring back this shit so they can sell merchandise to these losers, turning Naruto into a Dragon Ball Z clone. All power-ups, no techniques, which changed everything Naruto was about. 2 of the supposed Big 3 are just rip-offs of Togashi's work. He got double fucked back in the day, because Bleach is just a Yu Yu Hakusho rip-off. Every arc is literally the same, and the anime has lots of filler and horrible pacing. Unlike One Piece, every episode is different, which unfortunately is not a compliment. There's no sense of structure. Every intelligent being knows that Fullmetal Alchemist 2003 is superior in every single way. In the 03 anime, there was actually some philosophical complexity. It wasn't just another battle shonen. And Brotherhood had a terrible ending. Pretty much every bad thing was reversed, like nothing happened. So what was the point? There was literally no sacrifice. What else can I say? This is just a ripoff of another ripoff, Naruto. Just like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen. Both are ripoffs of Bleach, and they both are carried by animation. And the animation isn't even that good. Like, go watch Akira from the 80s, and you will see good animation. The gimmick of One Punch Man worked for like 3 episodes, then it got lame.
A completely honest review of this movie, okay? Completely objective. How can you sit there in the theater with a straight face and say this shit is good? I give this movie a 4 out of 10.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh shit, that looks amazing.
You think this looks good? So this is what you call the best anime of all time. The best animation of all time. Now let me show you what good animation actually looks like. It's all about the direction and choreography.
That episode was horrific. Disgusting.
Yeah.
It ruined my crisps, especially coming from someone who has a PhD in animation degree.
How? How the fuck did we end up here?
Disgusting. Hey bro, what is this? Masashi Kishimoto, what the fuck is this form, bro?
It's finally back. Wait, what? Is that CGI? You see, Kubo can't write, so he just took Yu Yu Hakusho and added swords. And it worked for the Soul Society arc, but then he just redid the same arc, but with worse pacing and worse everything. So, why would you be hyped for this? I mean, this new art style looks like shit.
So let's now go on to the final video that I'm reacting to, which is a reaction to the Bleach 2022 trailer. Apparently this guy thinks that it sucks. I never thought that I'd be doing a reaction to a reaction, but this trailer reaction got 73,000 views.
It's just a Yu Yu Hakusho ripoff.
The same way that Naruto is a Hunter x Hunter ripoff, or JoJo's is a Fist of the North Star ripoff. Most people are excited for the return of Bleach.
I mean, this new art style looks like shit.
You are on your own on this one. People are loving this art style.
Because I'm out.
Thank God you're out, because I'm out. Thank God that was over. A lack of dislike button really helped you.
Me, little Bleach fans. How are you,
Amazing way to start a video, am I right? Just how offended do you have to be?
We did it! We fucking did it! Someone got so mad. They got so mad. They decided to make a 1 hour long video on me and you. This ain't a small nigga either. This is a big 90,000 subs. So let's see what this guy actually tried to come at me with and completely defuse it.
But the big 3 is a Western myth. I'm gonna tell you facts from my mouth. Yeah, we're talking about the big 3. We're like the big last 3. Yeah.
I always get the comments, Purgon, what about the big 3? You need to respect the big 3. What?
big three are just rip-offs of Togashi and Akira Toriyama, let's be honest. That is all shonen can do nowadays. Just rip-off, 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 rip-off.
You casual motherfuckers. So, the truth is that the big three ruined anime. Oh yeah, no joke. And not for its quality, but because it's highly accessible, like fast food. Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, complete trash. I'm telling you, before you had a variety, because there was no formula anyone could copy that would guarantee you success.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a pile of dog shit. You're expecting a different kind of show, which just ends up being a generic battle shonen. Part 2 is still trash, with some minor improvements. Slightly better characters, but it still has the same problems. Like the pacing, like the unoriginality. The Roblox looking ass characters? Yes, it's more original, but the execution falls flat. So let me give you a reality check. It has better animation that's more fluid, better pacing, better tone, and is all around just better in every single way. The new adaptation by comparison is a piece of shit. But at least it's better than the generic shit it tried to be before. Because the truth is that Part 5 is so garbage. One of the worst pieces of shits I've ever seen. It made me want to go find the nearest bridge so I could end it all.
I mean, these are the same exact show, aren't they?
I object. Sorry, but like, if One Piece came first anyway, so wouldn't Fairy Tail be copying One Piece? They are just wannabes, like, excuse me, how dare you talk shit about my One Piece? You're such a fucking black ass.
But at least Fairy Tail knew when to quit. If someone put a gun to my face and forced me to watch either of these from beginning to end, then I would go with Fairy Tail. No joke. They're both infected with lust that I know all of you virgins jerk off to. One Piece would have been way better had it ended with the East Blue Saga. Had it ended there, Purgon would have looked at it very differently. It would still be overrated, but at least kinda mid.
Anime's dead, and that's a fact. Now the question is, when did it die? Now most of us can agree that 2006 was pretty good, as well as 2011. In 2012 you had Psycho Pass. In 2014 you had Parasite. It was really 2015 when this shit got mainstream, and you got abominations such as Dragon Ball Super. And because anime became so popular, the mainstream garbage made more money, so companies don't want to make true quality anymore, because it's not profitable. That's why we only get trash now.
And Purgon doesn't really care about politics. That is only for losers. I just want great characters, bitch! There is this misconception. It's actually very simple. Make them a great character first and foremost. Their sex and gender comes afterward. Like that shouldn't even be controversial. I don't see how you could disagree with any of this. Because I spit facts. Objective facts.
You look at Akira, right? From 1988, and you start to realize that these shows, carried by animation, really shouldn't be. Because the animation and choreography isn't even that impressive when compared to this 35-year-old movie. The difference between good and bad animation. You see, most people only want a bunch of random slashes and Michael Bay explosions to feel satisfied. But not Purgon. I seek the true quality. Hand-drawn, baby, that's what I'm talking about! This takes actual skill and talent. And that's what I like to see. I like to see actual quality. In fact, darker and more detailed backgrounds just adds to the atmosphere of the show. Now I know most of you degenerates have no idea what good animation is, or can understand the techniques such as squash and stretch, but I really don't like how these modern shows have this bright and colorful look. The perfect example of this is once again Hunter x Hunter.
It ruined my crisps! While the 2011 version looks good on its own, it can't compare with the 99 adaptation.
I got undeniable proof that this movie has bad acting. Check out this clip.
Scour the internet and Scooby-Doo this.
You're telling us what to do, even though all this is kind of your mess.
You know, I know a couple of magic words myself, starting with the word please.
Please, Scooby-Doo.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Why didn't this one get an Oscar? I mean, it had this. I called one of my clients.
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, the reason why I did not enjoy this movie is because my favorite character, the aunt, is not in it.
That's the word of a real nigga.
Wait, did you say that word? What the fuck, bro?
But I'm black.
Bro, if you're black, then my armpits are white.
Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're gonna be watching some of Sir Purgon X's best videos.
And I've been analyzing this question for a long time. And I think I've come to a conclusion. Instead of converting these normies into higher level thinkers, he makes this small gated community of people that just circle jerks his opinions. Now, we all know JRPGs rock my cock, but how can you call yourself the king of games if you only play one genre of games?
Speaking facts.
Purgon actually edits his videos, actually made his own soundtrack. You cannot compare me to him.
What it does is turning the sheep who follow the mainstream into sheep who follow him instead, which won't really change anything, and also has very similar arguments as him. He gets to the point, though the cost being the lack of substance. It gives him his own identity, and if he focused primarily on doing that and stayed in his lane.
Or one of his degenerate fat boys, who does nothing but eat Cheetos all day in their mom's basement. When the money dried up, he was thrown out with his head first. Instead of recommending true quality, like Ninja Gaiden or Devil May Cry. But know this, I'll keep shitting on you. Stay mad. Noxtaku is nothing but a fake anime and manga fan. How are you gonna cry about not getting paid when someone like Purgon, who truly puts out top tier content, never sees a dime? Absolutely astonishing. And if we're being honest, his taste is above average, but for the size of his fanbase, it's not good enough. There's no complexity. It's too generic. It's nothing like Purgon's taste. My taste should be the gold standard. But as usual, you normies are just too pathetic. Because by understanding what's going to be said here might make you off yourself if you're a normal or unstable person. This will really delve into your mind and make you realize the truth. So, you better click off right now. You actually see with your brain. The sunlight bounces off every object into your eyes, which gets translated by the retina, traveling through the optic nerve, and finally reaching the brain. That is how human sight works. That means that the world you see and feel right now is a human brain interpretation of reality that isn't even universal. If an alien with different eyes and a brain came to Earth, everything would look different to them. No creature can actually see the real world. We can only interpret it with our brain's senses.
There's no such thing in the world as absolute reality. Most of what they call real is actually fiction. What you think you see is only as real as your brain tells you it is.
If you were born the only human on Earth, then you would never be able to get the beliefs you have right now. Almost everything you know and believe in came from other people or society. In other words, 99% of people are just sheep.
Without others to interact with, you cannot truly recognize your own image.
Because the thing that forms your shape is your mind, and its interaction with the world that surrounds you.
Love is completely dead. Or at least there has been an undeniable decline in the past 15 years. And Purgon will give you the 4 reasons why that is.
People are abandoning spirituality and religion for atheism, and that has created a vacuum, which is currently being filled by fake materialistic objects. Since love is mostly derived from Christianity,
the multi-party system of the West puts people into different groups, each trying to counteract the other. The real problem starts when the gap between parties gets too big, and they try to divide enemies by gender and race. Now that the normies have a platform to spread their ignorant opinions on through the internet,
where all you have to judge a human by are looks, the imbalance comes from the fact. Sure, maybe the guy you're following might be a high-level thinker, but for you to be one too, just by sucking them off? You see, some people were born to follow and some people were born to lead. That's just how it is, you know. If you are not in control of your own destiny, how can you preach to others? That makes no sense. You are heavily influenced by every person you've ever met in your life. Now you need to be self-aware of this fact when giving your thoughts on something. It's finally time. for another high-quality list. This one is more focused on the characters than the actual story, much having to do with Revi's colorful personality. And the development of Rock goes the opposite way of a generic shonen protagonist. Fate actually has characters and a story that you can take seriously. Code Geass and Death Note. Time travel done right. This is perfect if you are too lazy to read, but you should watch the 99 version first, because it adapts the first arcs better. Back when shonen protagonists weren't just crybabies. Rurouni Kenshin, a samurai on the path to redemption. When this was the original Squid Game. Ghost in the Shell is classic cyberpunk. Psycho-Pass has some similar ideas. Parasite. Small aliens secretly invades Earth by taking over the minds of people. Monster. A doctor gets falsely accused of murder, with the original author actually ending his own life right after publishing this. Yeah, this is big boy shit. Blue Gender. The main character wakes up in a time where Earth has been overrun by these mystical beings. Neon Genesis Evangelion, but instead has its depth found within its world and story. If you want to test your analytical capabilities, then Serial Experiments Lane will do the job. When the idealized public perception of you takes over, and is no longer indistinguishable from the real you. So I definitely recommend his other works too. You know, people who put Berserk as the best seinen are equivalent to the people who put Dragon Ball as the best shonen. Bastard is a much more consistent dark fantasy. That is true. So we all know that Berserk peaks at the Golden Age arc and never really reached that level again. So yeah, the animation seems decent. I mean, Netflix just have to do the bare minimum to not fuck this one up. And even if they do, you still got the manga, my bro.
Subscribe to the Purgon X YouTube channel or else.